EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the Carolinas and Bank of America Stadium here in Uptown Charlotte. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. Two teams here playing for pride as the final week of the NFL season is underway. Here comes Johnson on the return. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Throwing on first down. Hoffman. He goes underneath to Freeman. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Give him 30 yards there.
So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. Gonna look deep for Whip. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And he's gonna get this deep on a Carolina side of the field.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Broncos with their first trip to the red zone thus far. This is 1st and goal from about the 8. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. A great play there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. McManus's point after is good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
On 2nd down, here's Newton. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Charles, that makes now 5 interceptions and not even 5 quarters. Remember, he threw 4 picks last week.
And this turns into a tough situation because a lot of fans, the first thing is, oh, well, we need to change quarterbacks. This is your guy. This is your elite player. You can't just take him out like that. If I'm the coach, I make a little joke and say, you know some big guy, we're going to change the football. So it's obvious that's the problem. It's not you. Keep firing.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw on second down. Hoffman. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And now running right through it. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. He's going to air one out. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe when you look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Here's Newton now on second down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
3rd and long, it's Newton. Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Fielded just inside the 20. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
All right, here we go. Blue 90! Blue 90!
Off the play fake. Hoffman. Throwing left side, it's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That goes for a gain of 31. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here we go now.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be 3rd and about the length of the football. Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a third down here. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
On 1st and 10, Hoffman, and it's caught over the middle, Wilson. And they'll get this down to the 10. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Looking to throw. Hoffman. This will be caught just inside the 10. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them. That feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. On 2nd and 10, Newton. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20. From the gun, here's Newton. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. The Broncos say they have it. They do. He let one slip away last week as well, so now 2 fumbles lost in as many weeks.
Well, we were out at practice, and we watched him work. And what did his quarterback coach talk about all week?
Being a 2-hand monster.
And we looked at each other. 2-hand. Oh, I get it. 2-hand monster. Both hands on the football. Taking care of it. Putting it away so the ball doesn't get dropped.
Give him 9 yards on the carry there. A good run. And now 2nd and goal.
That was a great effort on 1st down. He took the run wide and dove for the pylon, but came up just a bit short.
Good yardage on 1st down. Now can they punch it in on 2nd and goal? They'll give it to him up the middle. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness, puts it all together. It makes plays like one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but, boy, he knows how to pursue straight ahead and make plays in the run game.
Over!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal.
This drive started with 1st and goal. Now that it's 4th and goal, anything less than a touchdown would feel like a letdown to me.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the right. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And the gamble fails. It's incomplete. So that's one you almost never see at this level. A wobbler from very short range, and it winds up no good.
All right, Brandon, if he slipped or someone got a hand on it, then I could understand it, but it's almost like he heard a whistle or something that stopped his swing. A very strange result, especially for an NFL kicker.
Following the fumble recovery, Newton. His throw incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
Let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll get a couple here down to the 22.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
To throw on second down, Hoffman. And it's incomplete. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with third down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Back to throw. Hoffman. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And McManus able to put it through. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Carolina getting set to take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. To throw on second down is Newton. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Timmy Jernigan continuing to fight downfield. The big tackle gets him for a loss of 11. So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. Call it a gain of 4, but not enough. The punt team going to need to be summoned here on 4th down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the face mask gets him a free 15 to start the drive.
Lucky 56.
Operating from the gun, Hoffman. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39. Gun.
Back to the air on 2nd down. Hoffman being chased out left. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A very solid gain of 27.
Blitz. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 1st down, Hoffman. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
All right, here we go. Green.
To throw again, Hoffman. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the 1st half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10.
Gun.
From the gun, Hoffman. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the 2nd half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Newton throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. Throwing on third down, Newton going for the deep ball. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's fourth.
Another dangerous throw there, partner. I mean, he's already thrown 2 interceptions here in the first half. I don't know if you want to keep throwing up 50-50 balls and you've had that kind of lack of success.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well could have been a third interception in half number 1. Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position. Now it's 1st and 10 after a costly penalty there on 4th down.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Off play action. Hoffman. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Field goal unit not out there. They won 6 before halftime. The final shot before break. Hoffman. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the 3rd quarter. And I would say they went 3 and out last time, but actually they didn't even get to 3 and out. Still a strange decision to us here in the booth.
Yeah, let's hope they don't go 1 and out, but maybe, possibly, let's try and think with them here. Try to play field position maybe, turn the ball over, put it in the hands of their defense. Who knows?
You're a nice man. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10, Newton again. And incomplete there. A nice hit, jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. Here's Michael Pilardi now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Pulled in at the 24. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And possession will switch hands first. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
On 1st down, they'll run it on the draw play. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10.
All right, now, look at 56.
Looking to throw. Hoffman eluding the pressure right. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. And flags come as he gets forward for about 3 yards. And let's check on the call. Wait a second. They did not accept that after the incompletion. Wow. Your look is just as puzzled as mine.
I got nothing for you here. You have to take that penalty, don't you?
It's free yards. So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. Newton, quick slant, caught by Moore. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Out of the gun, Newton. Flush to his right. And his throw here is incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Newton, he's going to look deep down the field. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So the Broncos coming out now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Off the play fake. Hoffman. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Well, the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way. That's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight. They've got to all get together and find ways to make this passing game get in gear.
Off play action. Hoffman dancing to his left. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay. And that'll set them back 5. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. McCaffrey following the penalty. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Shaquille Barrett in on the tackle.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their 3rd of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they've missed a golden opportunity.
And incomplete on the deep ball. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them. And that's what friends are for.
Right. As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turned it over there. That's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And Freeman lost the football. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Detroit! Now let's go!
Following the fumble recovery, Hoffman. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now they try the right side here. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up 1st downs.
Throwing on 1st down, Hoffman. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. 2nd and 12 after the 1st down pass play went backwards for 2 yards.
All right, here we go.
Operating from the gun, Hoffman. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd down and 12.
Now let's go! Green 39! Green 39! All right, now, lucky 56! Lucky 56!
From the gun, Hoffman escaping the pressure right. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So now here comes the field goal team for the third time today. And McManus able to put it through. And that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
180.
They'll try to get the running game going with McCaffrey. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
To throw on 2nd down. Newton sheds off the tackle. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route, it's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers in possession of the football, but facing a deficit here as we get to the 4th and final quarter of play. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Newton, they'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll make it 3rd and 13. They'll run it now out of the gun. Breaks a tackle. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the ball. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And he gets it to Funchess complete. Touchdown, Carolina. Devin Funchess, his first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers, they're able to draw a bit closer. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback. Because to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My high school coach used to say that all the time.
And that's caught inside the 35. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That goes for a gain of 31.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. And they'll run it here. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Trailing in the 4th, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit!
Throwing again. Hoffman. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, and they had him stopped short of the first, but a penalty marker down. And that looked like a clear face mask to me. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. To throw on 2nd down. Hoffman. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted. They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. That's caught at the 3. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. So on 4th down, out trot. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. As his guys are in for 6, and the Broncos will extend their lead. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Going up top, and look at this. Cam Newton intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off around the 37, and he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. That is now 7 interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet and make a little note. I hope he's writing self-scout. Bring in the guys that scout games for you with a different eye and watch him and see what's going on, and maybe they can pick up what the flaws are, and hopefully they can correct them.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. The Broncos on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 9.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Off the play fake. Hoffman. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal.
No. Check. Patriot. Gun.
He'll get it up the middle, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
They've been stuffed twice here for losses. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Watch it now, Barney.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. A great effort there. His 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
This is taken at the 3. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Finding room at the 30. And finally taken down at the 36-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
Look, the 1st down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it. And boy, the reward was there. A big, big pickup. And guess what?